Hi, my name is Joonatan and I'm going to talk about the best things about being trans.
At the end of June, I took a ferry from Stockholm, Sweden to Helsinki, Finland to volunteer at Helsinki Pride. I spent a couple of days selling pride flags, informing people about various events, and above all, meeting some really cool people. While I was there, I also took the opportunity to meet and interview 3 really cool queers. And in this video, we're going to get to know one of them, Joonatan.
My name is Joonatan, I'm 29 years old and I'm a trans guy. I work in a kindergarten and I do some maybe you could say activism in social media as well.
Joonatan has chosen to speak about the best things about being trans. So let's start with hearing him define what being trans means to him.
Well, I identify as a trans guy or just a guy, and I use he, him pronouns, but also they, them is fine for me, but I prefer he, him. It's about, 2-3 years since my transition, and before that I knew about my gender identity or figured it out maybe 4 years before that. So I wasn't aware of my gender identity or being trans when I was a kid or a teenager. But then I always still kind of knew something was, wrong, but something was missing, or I had this feeling like it's not everything here, I'm not sure what is missing or what is wrong, but something is just not right or not correct. And then at some point I started to realize that okay, maybe I'm not like a woman, but then I wasn't sure what it was, and I thought about being non-binary, but then pretty fast after that I realized okay, I just want to be seen as a guy.
Transitioning in Finland isn't really that easy.
If you feel like you need to transition, you need to go to see a doctor, and then they write you a certificate to get to the gender clinic. There are 2 of them in Finland, and you have to wait quite a long time now because there's so many people going there and there's only two places where you can go. But from that you get an appointment there, and then you go there for at least a year, maybe 2, it depends on a person, and then you have different interviews, you meet a doctor and a nurse and psychologists and stuff. They may take some tests, psychological tests, and then at the end you get diagnosed at being trans or non-binary, and after that you are allowed to have hormones or surgeries or whatever you need, and it depends on the diagnosis that you get, what you can actually get. And also basically if you want to change your the official gender marker on your passport and stuff, you have to get a new what is it called, a personal identity number basically. And in Finland those are gendered as well, and there are 2 options. So you have to get a whole new identity, and for that you have to have a certificate from 2 different doctors that you really are trans, and then you have or need to have a third one from the hormone clinic where they tell that you are infertile, you can't have kids, and then you can change it. So that's the big flaw in the Finnish trans law. But they are working a bit around it, so because they are on our side on it in the clinics, so they if you have been on hormones for a year, then they just write you the certificate that you're and then yeah, it works like that, but of course it's still wrong.
I told you this was going to be a video about positivity, and this is where that starts.
I didn't know that I was trans when I was a kid or as a teenager or even as a young adult. I kind of tried to play the role of being a woman or a girl, or not even as a kid I didn't question being a girl because that was what I was told, and that was how I was raised, and also I had pretty much of freedom to do whatever I wanted to or express myself however I wanted to. I started to realize that something was wrong. I didn't know what it was, and then I realized okay, that maybe I'm trans. I kind of had this feeling that okay, maybe I'm just lying, or that I'm not really trans. I thought that maybe this is not for me, maybe there's some other answer to everything. But then I started to realize okay, there is not this is it for me, and I really need to do this. And at first I had this thoughts that maybe my life is gonna be miserable or this is not gonna work out, no one's gonna believe me, I need to cut all my relationships with my family and friends and everyone I know and move somewhere else where no one knows me and, you know, like start over. I had no idea that life as a trans person could be actually like really good. I knew it was something I really needed to do because I wasn't happy as I was, and I felt like it was the answer for me, but I still felt like my life would not be normal or good or something.
But what helped him through these feelings was the trans community.
I had identified as a queer person before because of my relationships and stuff, but I never really felt like I needed to meet other queer people as much back then. But then as a trans person, I felt like the trans community is so like, it was welcoming and it was something that I had been kind of missing, and that's one of the best parts of being trans. Like, you have the people and it's like, it's your community and you're part of it, and the feeling is such, it's really strong and amazing. So that's one of the really good things that I've really liked, and that's really also helped me because sometimes it's hard to go through your transition and stuff, of course. So like, there have been people that actually know what I'm going through and they get me and they support me like fully, because even though my family's been amazing and they have tried to support me and I have friends that are totally on my side on this, they still don't get it, and they might say stuff that you don't like. They might hurt you even if they mean well. So then there is your community that they get it and you can tell them, and it's not like you need to question yourself or you need to like explain about it, or explain in a way that you would have to like make them believe you. They just get it. So that's one of the things.
And another part that's so great about being trans is the gender euphoria.
I knew like I needed some medical transitioning, like hormones and a top surgery, for example. And I kind of knew it would make me happy, or it would make me feel better. But I had no idea how happy it would make me or how amazing the feeling would be, because I still felt like that, okay, I kind of don't like my body, or I feel like if I go somewhere, people can't take me seriously because of what I look like or what I sound like. And I knew it would maybe get easier after transitioning medically, but I had no idea how much it would help. And some of the best feelings that I've ever had in my life have to do with my transition. Like, there's nothing like that. Of course, I wouldn't choose it if I wasn't trans or I didn't know I was trans. I wouldn't be like, oh, I wish I was trans, because it's hard. But also, I wouldn't like change it away now that I've gone through it and like that everything is fine.
He also wants to touch on the importance of having other transgender people to look up to.
Since I do the mostly Instagram activism, and I feel like there is a great community as well of trans people. But anyway, I feel like many people, because I do everything in Finnish, but at least from Finland, many trans people who haven't transitioned or who are questioning their gender, they have contacted me and like they've sent me messages like, okay, you've helped me so much, or like, could we talk about this, or could you answer some questions? And I'm always like, of course, yes, because if I can help someone with what I've gone through, that's like amazing. Because I didn't know any trans people when I started questioning my gender. I maybe wished that I had someone to tell me that, like, or maybe that I even had someone to look at and like see that, okay, life can be so good, and like you could be as happy as this person, or you could feel home in your body or in yourself and have like peace with yourself. I mean, it can be hard, but I would still say to everyone who is questioning their gender that it's like a journey worth making, because at the end, it's just, it doesn't matter what other people think, or you deserve to be yourself. As I said, it's a journey worthy of making.
Joonatan saved the most important message for last.
And also, one thing, there is not a thing as not being trans enough, because that's a thing I still sometimes think about, like, okay, maybe I'm not like as much of a trans person as some other people are, or like I'm not trans in a right way, but there is no right way. There is just your way of being you, and that's enough.